Hello, welcome back. RealCopStoriesVideos.com, which you're on right now. 359 stories. Please look them up. They're my babies. Gross Alerts, Vice, Foot Pursuits, Naked People. You'll love them all. In addition to that, we're up to over 180 now, question and answer. So ask me a question, I'll respond to you directly, and then I'll put it on video like we're doing now. So email me with a question, rsbcopstories@gmail.com. Okay, the question came up. New question. Have you dealt with handicapped people? Oh yeah. Yeah, here we go. I got a bunch of them. Some are kind of funny. Most of them are pretty funny, but funny in the respect of you have a weird sense of humor like I do, it's funny. Okay. Working patrol, I had about 3 years on, and we get a call that there's a burglary in progress, okay? So we respond. Now, as I told you before in my other stories, RealCopStoriesVideos.com, unlike what you see on TV, when you're not the first car there, most of the time you're not. I never went to the scene of the crime, okay? Because guess what? The last place that crook's going to be is there. He's gone, okay? Usually by the time the call gets out to the uniforms, it's been 3 minutes, and by the time an officer responds, 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is a long time from the time the call was called in that you don't know what the suspect done during that time, and he probably, if he takes off as soon as the call is put out, he's 5 minutes away, either in a car or on foot. So we always responded in the direction, but we took alleys away, a good half a mile away, and just checking alleys, looking for put out a suspect description. So we're looking for the suspect. Never go to the scene of the crime. He's not going to be there unless I catch him in the house. So we're driving around, and we see a guy matching the description. He sees us, and the chase is on. First we chase him with a car, go down the street. Then he cuts into an alley. My partner's driving, and I got the door open. You know, I'm ready to jump out. Suspect turns down another alley. Partner's trying to turn the car. I bail out. I'm on him. Okay, now I'm a young guy then, and I can run pretty good. I think I was like number 3 of 35 guys and running. So I'm on him, man. He's a 16-year-old juvenile running. I'm a 24-year-old guy in shape, and I'm with him step for step. I mean, he's not getting away, but I'm not gaining him either. I mean, 16-year-old versus, he's 6 years my junior, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. So they got to make turns. They can't. Nothing's a straight line. This isn't a track meet. Okay, he's got to make turns. Well, what happens is usually the first or second turn they blow out. It's like we chase motorcycles, and the only way we catch them is when they try to make a turn, they flip the motorcycle over, So he made a right turn, and his shoes went out, and I'm coming at him full speed. So by the time he gets up, I give him the old shoulder block, and he flies in the air, and I'm on him. Okay, so that's what happened. Cuff him. No other than just me knocking him down. No other assault by me, so to speak. Assault, I want to call it that. Partner's right behind me. He jumps out. You hook him up. About that time, we put out a broadcast and have radios. Had to go back to our car. He's screaming. I didn't do anything wrong. Of course he didn't. He's a gang member. Okay, fine. So I'm going to cuff him. Okay. Well, his right hand, he has no hand. Okay, it's a stump. It's like right here. It's like this. Okay. It's got a little. Actually, it's right about here because he had a little bit of a muffin here. It's straight up and then it kind of went out a little bit. So like it kind of went out a little bit like that. It must have been this part of the hand. And then it's flat on top. So I went to cuff him and I couldn't. So I got his belt and I cuffed his other arm to his belt, and then I got a plastic cuffs and I put plastic cuff him up here and up here, and I pulled his shoulders back and I cuffed him up in the shoulder blades. I don't know if we just had to improvise because this is my first time I've had a guy with a stump. So while we're doing all this, another unit pulls up because they know we're in foot pursuit because my partner was broadcasting that. So they pull up. They're like, we got him, okay. And they're going, hey, he's got a stump. I said, yeah, that's weird. And of course you get the joke. Oh, well, hope he's the burglar. We could be stumped on this one. Really? Okay, but okay. Oh, there's more coming. If I can remember some of this stuff. Okay, so real funny. Okay, so we get him in the car. We thought that was kind of funny actually. So anyway, get him in the car, and then they in those days, this is how law changed. In those days, you could pick up the suspect, drive back to the house, and have the witnesses look at him. Well, they changed all that because that could be intimidating. It could be what do you call it? Coercion. And all these fancy legal words. So now we have to leave the suspect, I think it's almost a rule, leave him at the scene, and then we have to bring the victims over to look at him, and we have to admonish the victim, say, just because, which does kind of make sense, just because he's handcuffed and covered with dirt and all that, doesn't mean he's a suspect. Just, you're the witnesses, tell us if it is or not. If it isn't, that's fine. We'll find him somewhere else, because it kind of makes sense, I guess, that most people think, oh, he's handcuffed, he's got to be guilty. Well, not necessarily. Okay. So anyway, they show up and they see, yeah, he was in the house, and there's a trail from the house in pillowcases from property that he picked up and put in a pillowcase. And as he came out of the house, people started screaming at him, and they said, we're going to call the cops. So he starts running, and of course you can see there's a trail of items, as he down the alley, so to speak. And then there's the pillow with the a killer case with stuff in it laying on the alley, and he just let go of that stuff and he wants to get the hell out of there, because the cops are coming. So they got the property, they got him. So we arrested him. We take him to the station. Okay, our job is to process. When we do juveniles there, we have no jail, so we have to photograph him and fingerprint him. Okay, fine, because he's a juvenile. And then we release him to mama. So it's not a violent crime. Even burglary, he can go home for the night and get cited back for court or whatever. So I'm the passenger, so I have to process him. My partner's going to write the report, because this time I'm going to process him. So I'm taking his picture, mug photo, and then I go over to the print table, and I'm doing his left hand. And the whole time I'm thinking, how am I going to do his right arm? Okay, whatever. Okay, so you put the fingers, for every finger, and then you roll the hand, and you do the palm on one side, and you roll it over, and you do all the 4 fingers, okay, together. 4 fingers together, and then the other side has the full palm, and then individual fingers. That's the way the cards work. We made a set of cards for us, our department. We made a set of prints for the federal, send it off to some place where they keep it a supply of that, so we can solve crimes. Basically, still do it now, where they send it to Sacramento or whatever. So a big crime, nationwide crime terminal for all these fingerprints, looking for all kinds of murders and whatnot. Anyway, so those days we were just doing that. Okay, fine. So I get to the right hand, and my partner goes, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I don't know, man." I said, "I'll tell you, I'm gonna do this. Alpha, okay? All right, give me your right hand." I could have said stump, but I'm not, okay. So give me your right hand. He's, not a very smart, not a very likable kid. He's a gang member and all that good stuff, okay. He says, give me that. So I grab it. And so the fingers, the little individual fingers, I put none, okay. I flip the card over, and for the 4 fingers, I put none. But one side needs the palm. So I get his stump, and I had a roller with ink, and I go, like this. I go, here's the stump. I go like this. I roll it up. I put his stump on the card, and I write on this side, right hand stump, no fingers. Okay? Cool. Okay, so I do that. So then we process the kid, parents show up, he's got a prior for some kind of theft, so it doesn't really matter. We release him to his parents, and all the paperwork's going to go upstairs to the detectives, which I actually work later, and in a couple of days he'll have to come back and talk to the detectives, and they'll decide what they're going to file charges or whatever. And the juvenile is a whole different ballgame from an adult. Okay, there's a lot of paperwork involved. So, but the paperwork has to be presented to the supervisor, my supervisor. So, come around there, here you go, boss. So I said, he wrote the report, I processed the kid. So I'm watching, so looking at it, he's looking. See how these supervisors, when I became a supervisor, you think you're pretty smart, you want to make sure you cover everything as a supervisor, and you want to make sure, and sometimes officers want to see if you can stump the supervisor. Oh, I'm sorry, I used that word in there. Anyway, that was an accident, I didn't mean to say that. Okay, so anyway, so now he's going through the reports, and of course you got to go through the fingerprints cards, because he has to initial the cards. So he gets the one, and he turns it over, and he reads it. The F is this? He goes, he has a stump. What? He has a stump in his right hand. No way. He gets up and walks over. The kid's still in the tank, getting ready to be released to mom and daddy. So he's got these are 20-year supervisors, right? You'd think he'd be like, right now, oh my gosh, he'd be, are you okay? And then it was like, let me see your right stump. I mean, I'm going, man, I thought I was cold. Well, you want to look at this? Yeah, okay. So he walks, sits down, he goes, yeah, he does have a stump. How weird. He goes, well, why did you fingerprint the stump? I said, Sarge, what if he's a burglar, right? He goes, and he got it when I said that. I go, what if he goes to burglarize and he uses that stump to, to balance himself, going into a house or a doorway, a windowsill, and they start dusting for prints, and they find this weird, look like a paw print. Got him. He goes, good point. He says, that way the detectives won't be stumped. And he looked at me and went, oh no. You, Sarge? He goes, I thought that was kind of funny. I said, okay, sounds good. He goes, yeah, wow. He goes, that's interesting. How'd you cuff him? So I tell the whole story. He goes, okay, interesting. He goes, did you ask him how he got it? I said, I think he said a machinery accident or something when he was a kid. I go, oh, one good thing is what's that, Sarge? He goes, well, if they commits a crime, somebody actually sees that he has no hand, we know who he is. We got him. I said, yep. That way the officers won't get stumped. He looks at me, you too? Come on, how many times you get imagine this? Come on, So I wish I could remember more. There was a few of those stump jokes flying around. I don't remember what they were, but that was 2 of them I remember. But there you go, Handicapped. And he was Interesting kid. I don't know what happened to him. I never saw him again, so I don't know whether he moved out or what. But usually you see the kids over and over again. But if they fix their lives, they may never see him again. So interesting. Hope you enjoyed that story. It wasn't really exciting, but it was kind of interesting. So see you next time. Bye-bye.